Welcome back to Dungeon Master's Corner. Today, we look back at the horrors of overconfidence, both in and out of game. Welcome to another episode of the Dungeon Master's Corners. My name is Brian.
And I'm Nicole.
And today, we're going to talk about a short-lived campaign that I ran, and it's short-lived for a very good reason. So back in the faraway year of 2019, I started running a Curse of Strahd campaign. And of course, we all know what happened in 2019, and it was quite depressing. being locked away and quarantined away and
Good
isolated.
Sir. Good sir, I do believe your ear is off a little bit. You said 2019.
Did we start this in 2018?
No. We actually finished Princes of the Apocalypse early 2020, like January, and then we rolled into Curse of Strahd.
Ah. See? Didn't realize that. Well, that was really before COVID became a big issue that kept us isolated, which, to be fair, if you played Curse of Strahd, the whole point is to kind of gaslight your players and make them feel isolated and scared and stuck and facing off against this unbeatable evil that's so hard to actually place. And we were doing that in our real life. We didn't want to be doing that in the game world either, or as well. But before that happened, we did get a decent few levels in.
Yeah, we got a little ways into Barovia, exploring, learning the terrors.
Yeah, you managed to find your way into Vallaki, and you made some friends-ish. We lost a friend as well.
We restored those. We lost 2 friends along the way. Restored the bones to that church to help protect it.
Yeah, it went well.
Yeah, totally. No problems there.
Except for, we'll tell that story another time, but Gina going headfirst into a slat of wood was kind of funny. Terrible way to die, but kind of funny. Before all of that happened, they went off to the Wizards of Wine winery. And there, if you've played Curse of Strahd, you know that there's a mad druid, there's some blights and whatnot. In fact, it's quite a few blights.
Just a few?
Just quite a few.
I know.
Quite a few. That live in the vineyard. Now, my players, I don't think fully understood what Curse of Strahd was just yet. Like, they had lost a party member already, but that was in the Death House. That was self-sacrifice. That was dark and scary, but still in their control. They hadn't quite learned what Barovia really was. And this was the moment it really hit home. Because they're standing outside of the Wizards of Wine winery, and they see the vineyard move. The entire vineyard. Shifting and twisting. As I believe it was 21 or 22 thorn blights stepping out from within the brambles of what remained of this winery. And they uttered the words that I went in my mind, well, fuck, this was fun.
That's fine, we can take them.
That was exactly it. We can take them. There's, what was there, 5 of you? 4 of you?
4 of us at the time.
4 of you at the time.
I think it was before we had Sophia.
Right, Sophia, our little cleric wizard. She would have been real helpful then, with some fire spells and whatnot.
But, the thought is with that many enemies, obviously the CR can't be that bad. The GM wouldn't throw that many at us if they were really that bad.
Anyone who knows what Barovia's like knows that that's a lie. So when they hit one, it was a decent chunk of damage. I think it was like 11 or 12 points of damage on that one hit. It was a good, solid hit. And it kept walking.
It's like, oh.
They thought, one hit, one kill. Oorah! It kept coming at them. And then the volley of thorns came. And they realized, oh, they don't need to be up on us to attack us. This is bad. Now, there's thankfully, a built-in defense for the players here. If they go inside the winery, the blights do not follow. My players did not know this, but they scrambled inside as quickly as they could. I think someone got dropped and was dragged in because...
Yeah, they were.
They were just getting wrecked. You were getting just steamrolled by this
I
thing.
think it might have been Mariana. I think it might have been our Plague Doctor cleric. Yeah.
Yeah. Because that was a special class that we had, that our friend Matt was running, because he does love him some Plague Doctors. And the only person with any form of healing was down. The doors were shut, and now they're trapped in this building, unable to escape. And they were screwed. I think I allowed you guys a short rest because you like got in there and you hid.
Yeah.
But they were in a real bind. I felt a little bad. I'll be honest. I felt a little bad, but that's something you gotta kill early on in yourself if you want to run Curse of Strahd. If you're going to take pity on your players, if you're looking for a happy, fun-loving adventure...
This is not the campaign for that.
Yeah, do not get that. It's like Tomb of Annihilation. It's not meant to be chipper. It's not going to be chipper. And we realized that pretty quick with COVID going on and with the way that this world worked. People stopped having fun, and that was not good. And we've actually discussed it since then. If this was done at any other time, Curse of Strahd could have been a really fun game.
And maybe one day we'll try again. When the world's a little less dark.
So probably never.
Still probably never, but,
Yeah, you know me, the optimist. The world was going to suck forever. No, there's definitely a chance we could return to Barovia, probably with different characters or the same characters reimagined.
I was gonna say, I'd love to get the completion of Ara's story one day.
One day, yeah.
For her to find out who her patron is eventually. See if Ismark or Isnak, as we called him affectionately.
Yeah.
If anything happens.
And see. And bring back Gina's character, who is the most upbeat person I've ever seen.
In Barovia.
No, just in general. She lives in Barovia. She's the most happy, upbeat person. No one trusted her.
Absolutely no one.
And Sophia's dark... I love the design that Andrew came up with Sophia. It was like the Day of the Dead kind of face paint going on.
Dia de los
Necromancer
Muertos. Yeah.
Yeah, he kept finding this beautiful artwork, and I loved every bit of it. Mariana, I would love to know what's going on behind that mask, what's going on in that head. So these were great characters. It was just such a bad time to be playing it, and the Thorn Blights, we can take them. You're not epic heroes in this one. You are trying to survive. And playing a game about trying to survive when everyone's actually trying to survive didn't work. So instead, we switched over to Storm King's Thunder, and from there, Rime of the Frostmaiden.
Yeah.
Where we got to enjoy the shenanigans that you can find in other episodes previously.
Shenanigans, horrors, romance, and treachery.
Yeah. What's funny is, I find this amazing. Rime of the Frostmaiden setting is so similar to Barovia.
With the isolation and the psychological horror and just trying to survive.
Yeah, I don't know actually,
why
now that I
it
stop and think about
worked.
it. Yeah, why did it work with Frostmaiden, but it was not possible with Strahd? Because you DM our Frostmaiden campaign, and I DM'd the Curse of Strahd. It could just be different DM. You could have just been able to handle that better than I could. And I would fully accept that, because you did a wonderful job of turning that isolation and madness into something that we created this story that circles around these fantastic characters and this world that you've tweaked to fit your vision.
I think it really just came down to, like, yes, I was in it for the psychological horror and the terror. Like, that would be fun. But I was taking notes from what happened with Strahd. And, like, if I keep it that level of dark the whole time, which is kind of what it wants to do in some ways, if I do that, we're not going to get through it. So we had to have some lighter moments, too. Like, finding that bakery that Enoch and Ira went on a date in Bryn Shander. Things like that. Shenanigans with the people of Istamain. And, like, I think it's just mainly I think it's you guys, actually, because the characters you brought in and the stories you brought with you were something that allowed it to work.
And with Curse of Strahd characters, that's not what you build, and that's not what you prepare for. You prepare for this dark, terrible world. And I think also...
No good people end up in Strahd.
Exactly. And I think with the Frozen Wasteland, you have this still beautiful backdrop. Like, the frozen north, the Aurora Borealis, the snow, the clean setting... versus Strahd, which is this dark, gray, rainy, muddy, bloody, corpses hanging from trees kind of nightmare.
Yeah.
So I think the backdrop also helps a little bit, because you can wash Frostmaiden. You can clean up the background. You can make it less terrifying. Have us walking through a tundra. But the dismal backdrop of Strahd can definitely wear you down.
I think that might be it.
Yeah, so there's a lot of reasons why, I guess, Frostmaiden can work. So I guess if you do want to run psychological horror or some kind of gothic horror, maybe go with Frostmaiden over Strahd if you're worried about, the mental health of your players. But if your players are ready for it, Strahd's a great way to go. I always enjoy it, and I would love to run it again to its completion.
Basically what this tells you is we can both recommend Curse of Strahd and Rime of the Frostmaiden if you want something horror and long-term.
Yeah.
Just
definitely.
be aware of what you're preparing for.
And definitely, I haven't really heard this before Matt recommended Loading Ready Runs Not a Drop to Drink, and then watching more of New York by Night and LA by Night. But Lines and Veils, that's something that I learned about through that, and I feel like probably would have been a good discussion before Strahd had I been better prepared. Like the hard lines and the soft veils of what players expect and can handle. Because you knew we needed light, so you didn't even need to ask us where the lines and veils were. And
yeah,
with people that you've played with longer, you don't really need to ask as much. You know what's okay and what's not okay. And I think with Strahd, because I assumed everyone at the table knew what we were doing with Strahd, I didn't ask the questions I needed to. So I guess it comes down to preparation and understanding, and I think Strahd failing really did help Frostmaiden succeed, because we did learn what we needed. You're right about that.
And I think with the new knowledge, maybe eventually we can try Strahd again, with our new knowledge of this. And
with our new knowledge,
like, Strahd is dark. It is supposed to be dark. That is how it is. Maybe we'll try to add a little bit more lightness to it. A little bit.
I think Happy Jack managed that for us, but that's a story for another time. So I think that those last few minutes told everything that we've learned. I don't think we have to ask that question here.
Mm-mm. Also, don't think you can take on every encounter. Sometimes running is a good idea.
That is true. You're not a coward if you run. It's just a strategic withdrawal.
Exactly.
So thank you for joining us for another episode of the Dungeon Master's Corner. I have been Brian.
I've been Nicole.
And we can't wait to see you in our next episode.
Bye! Oh, no, take it away, outro guy.
Thank you for joining us for another episode of Dungeon Master's Corner. If you'd like to support us, please visit our Patreon at patreon.com/Reliably Chaotic to offset the psychological horrors of this world. Wait, that wasn't funny. Damn it, Strahd. You can also drop us a line on Twitter at Reliably Chaotic. We'd love to hear from you.